Hi and good afternoon. I've been making videos for a little while now. The one thing I've realised is I've never actually introduced myself or told you anything about myself. My name's Jan. I'm 67 at the moment. I'll soon be 68 in November. Not that I'm asking for presents. I was just saying that as by the by. I've been crocheting since I was about 13. That's Buster in the background. It's doing a bit of huffing and puffing. My mum didn't teach me because all she could do was what she called short stitch and long stitch. I think she meant like UK single crochet or UK double crochet, but I never quite got the bottom of it. I was brought up in a family full of crafters. I had two maiden aunts, that's a polite way of saying a spinster. One of them was a fantastic embroiderer, and she taught me to embroider, although it's just all gone out my head now. And the other one, she used to do, she was a seamstress, she used to be a tailoress. And during the war, you know, when things were short and just after the war, when material and things like that were on coupons, she used to turn nothing into something, you know. She used to buy, well, we used to buy things at sort of like jumble sales, that's like a yard sale, I think, to anybody in America, and take the best pieces out of material and cut ladies' dresses down to children's dresses for myself. She used to do fantastic tailoring and alterations and things like that. And in her spare time, she used to crochet. She used to mostly crochet mats, you know, like the old-fashioned, really fine crochet mats. And she used to do, she was a Catholic girl, good Catholic, strong Catholic girl. And she used to make the, you know, the mesh gloves that she used to go to church with. No pattern, she used to just make them. They were all like mesh and a frilly edging on them, and she had them in all colours to match her handbags and everything. She was very much a match lady. You'd never get her with, you know, shoes that didn't match her handbag and things like that. Yeah. Anyway, I got taught to crochet. I got taught to knit actually very, very young. It was something that I just absorbed because my mother was always knitting on knitting machines. That's how she earned her, well, we used to call it pin money in those days, but basically she was supplementing the family income. I learned to knit when I was young, quite young, but when I was 13 my mum and dad bought a shop and turned it into a wool shop. That had always been her passion, her thoughts, her dreams. So from the age of 13 onwards I was sort of like working part-time in the wool shop because I was still in education at the time. And I learned to crochet when I was about 13, I think, and then it became a passion of mine. When I was still in my teens, I used to crochet for a boutique in Oldham, if anybody knows Oldham. I used to crochet the crochet dresses, the open work that were very, very popular in the 1960s. And then when I had my son, I sort of drifted more back into knitting again because boys and crocheting don't mix. And the shop closed down, and that I used to crochet for, not our shop, you know. And then we got more involved and we bought two more shops, so there was like three shops. So my mum was in one, my dad was in another, and I was in another. So my time was fairly sort of taken up with things like that and raising a small child. And I mean, I was married at the time, but it wasn't a match made in heaven. But I won't go into that, it's not fair, is it? And but I did stay with him for 20 odd years, and until we got divorced. So I did give it my best shot, because in my time of life, you know, you did get married to stay. You didn't get married to get divorced. You got married to stay. So, you know, I was like the, you know, original Stepford wife, stuck it out, did what I had to do. In that time range, I bought a knitting machine, and I used to knit quite a lot of stuff on the knitting machine. I had a ready-made market because, of course, I used to be able to sell it through my shop. And I used to make the lacy cardigans, you know, for the little old girls who were like my age now, but I was in my 30s back then and they were 60s, in the 60s. I used to make the lacy little V-neck cardigans in white and cream, and they used to order them to go on the holidays with because they were in fine knitting, yeah. I still have one of the knitting machines. In fact, I've got two now, but one I bought recently, a chunky one. But I just cannot seem to get myself back into the mood of machine knitting, although I should. I mean, I bought every magazine, every book, everything known to man, pattern cards, pattern books, you name it. But I think you have to feel like you want to machine knit, whereas I would prefer to sit and crochet. I worked in the wool shop until the late 90s, when recession hit, people stopped knitting. By then I was on my own because my husband had left. My father had died and my mum was in very bad health. So gradually, you know, one by one the shops had to go, and then I was struggling with the last one. I mean, if I'd had somebody, a husband or something to support me, you know, for the financial bills for the house, I would have probably been okay. But as it happened, I cried for weeks after I had to let the shop go. Felt like I was letting my family down because it had been in the family for years and years and years, you know, and I just felt like I was letting everybody down, but it just had to be done. And I finished up working at the Jobs Centre, that's like the Department of Works and Pensions, finding people jobs, paying out money, etc. And there wasn't much scope then for crocheting. I mean, I did wear a crocheted waistcoat one day, and one of the girls I worked with said, oh, what are you doing wearing your grandma's tablecloths?